Thank you again. And we are transitioning to our next demo, Grammarly, Great Writing AI Simplified. Chia, Ling, welcome to the show.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Julia. Yeah, thanks for inviting me and Grammarly to the demo. I will take the next demo slide here.
Yeah, we're big fans of the platform, power users here for many, many, many years. We had your CMO yesterday, amazing session also. So super excited to dive in.
All right. Yeah, so what I'll do is I think I have about 10 minutes and I'm gonna really walk you through what a marketing person might be going through in the course of 8 hours and 10 minutes. And so we'll get through this demo and try to highlight as many things as we can as part of this. So I'll jump right into this. So as Julia mentioned, Grammarly is a writing assistant. We've been around since 2009. So we've been in the AI business for over 15 years, helping everybody from, if you're a user, helping you with your grammatical mistakes, spelling mistakes, punctuation, all the way up to what we're seeing today, which is leveraging generative AI as a augmented writing assistant. And I'll show you what that means because Gen AI is mentioned everywhere. I'll show you how we are handling that and making that easy for your users where they're working. And so for this first scenario here that we're looking at, somebody sent me, I'm a new marketing person here at this electronic bike organization, Acme, and I've got my first big task. My manager sent me an email to put together our content strategy. And as I'm going through this, I'm going, oh man, I probably should know a bunch of these different terms that I see here. And so here, highlighted in green, if I hover over there, Grammarly's already saying, hey, look, if you don't know what an EAPC is at the electronic bike organization you've just joined, here is what this is. Here is some related information and really speeding up my knowledge of how to respond to this. Similarly here, right, as a marketing person, I'm sure they know what a CTR is, but the idea is that Grammarly allows you to build up this uh, dictionary, if you will, your own private dictionary for information about your organization so that not only do I have this information, everybody else in the organization has the ability to get to this. And now, once I'm ready with this, of course, I do want to respond back to my manager. And here is really where you start to see Grammarly leveraging the generative AI to really help speed this process along. And one of the things that I can do here is certainly I can go ahead and write a email, and I can do this manually, and you see the Grammarly G button there. But I also have this option to reply quickly. And what this will do is it will now analyze the intent of this email that I was just sent. Right. And so now we know what this is about. There is an expectation to get this done by Friday. And I have a couple of ways I can respond. And if you look at these different responses or these different replies, all we're doing here is really giving the user preset prompts, right? So if you are using generative AI today, you might be able to copy and paste this email, put it in somewhere, write your own prompt here. With one click, Grammarly's allowed me the ability to say, okay, I got what I need. I know what my task is. Let's go ahead and generate the email, put this together. And if I like what this looks like, we can certainly send it off. We also have ability to really continue to improve on this generated content. And so we'll come back to this in a little bit, but the idea is that you can also create your own prompts as part of this. Let's go ahead and insert that. Let's say Friday looks good. We don't want to miss that deadline. I'm glad they gave me at least a day to finish this off. And we'll go ahead and fire this out back to my manager. And here I'm now ready to handle my next task, which is really to wrap up this creative brief. And here, what we'll do is we'll start to look at some of the things that Grammarly does in terms of providing you with, improving the your ability to work on more high value activities. And so what we'll do here is, of course, simple spelling mistakes, right? Simple grammatical mistakes. Grammarly will quickly pick up on these in your writing, and without having to do much else, we can address these. But you may notice that there's also a number of other suggestions we're providing here. And in this case here, it's probably a little harder to see. This is where Grammarly now allows you to build your own custom style rules. And so these might be terms that you use in your organization, services that you're providing, products that you offer, and you want to make sure everyone from your support team to your marketing team to your sales team, they're all using the same terminology with that level of consistency that you're looking for, because you've built up the brand and you want to make sure everybody is consistent there. And so Grammarly can highlight this wherever users are writing, uh, and making sure they get that correct. Another example here is, as you hit certain milestones, right? So Grammarly went from 30 million users to 40 million users. How do we ensure that everybody is now leveraging those same milestones and information without having to, constantly go through this editing and review process? And really what you're seeing here is how organizations like Zoom, they were able to save, over 7,000 hours because Grammarly is now able to give them that consistency that they're looking for in the writing that they're doing. Now, next up, what I'm going to do here is you'll notice here that I've got a section for an OKR, and I've got this work somewhere else. And one of the key things that Grammarly does really well is allow you to stay in the flow of the work that you're doing. And so one of the ways we do this is, of course, you saw all the suggestions and writing that we're doing, the generative AI already. Another way we can do this is to really allow you to leverage existing systems that you have. So I'm going to go down here and you'll see that we have a number of different ways for you to leverage information from different systems, whether it's to create a new ticket, whether it's to update a task. In this case here, I'm going to look for my OKR file here, and I can say, this is the Acme OKR. Grammarly will go ahead and find it for me, and I can now reference this directly in this creative brief. And so that now when somebody else is looking for us, we're not having them doing their search to get that. And so that is a quick way for somebody to really move between applications, stay in the flow of work, and really saving that time in the work that they're doing. Now, the last thing I will do here is we're going to venture into the generative AI component a little bit more. So under content ideas, one of the areas that I had to focus on was to come up with some blog post ideas for the team. And certainly I can sit here and come up with some great ideas, but I just need a little bit of a kickstart. And so I'm going to go ahead and call up Grammarly's generative AI. And as we saw earlier, there's a bunch of preset prompts we can use. But in this case here, I'm going to give Grammarly a custom prompt, and I'm going to say, give me 10 blog post ideas for uh, electronic bikes, and it's going to go off. It's going to come up with some ideas that we can go ahead and use. And of course, we can always, again, um, rewrite some of these prompts, recreate them. But if these work for what we need, we can go ahead and certainly drop them in to our creative brief here with some of those ideas that we can now go ahead and decide whether or not they make sense. And so this is a great way to really, round out some of the work that we might need to do. And let's say we're done here. I picked one of these articles or one of these headlines, and now what I'm going to do is wrap up that blog post that we worked off of. And one of the things that Grammarly is really great at, as you've already seen, is offering suggestions for improving the writing that we're doing. And so one of the other areas that we can instruct Grammarly to do, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to ask Grammarly to actually analyze this entire document and then give me some suggestions to improve this. So now instead of what we saw earlier where, is the individual spelling and punctuation, maybe even some of the style guide, what we're doing here is we're asking Grammarly to say, hey, look, take a look at this entire piece of work that I've just put together. Give me a number of suggestions where I can go ahead and really provide more impact to the writing that I'm doing. And so you'll see here, it gives you some suggestions about how you can, discuss the potential for e-bikes and what you can add to this to really drive home the goal of the writing that you're doing. And this could be for any number of content. And really what this is doing is giving you the ability to take work that you've done, have another set of eyes. So instead of having to send this out for multiple round of reviews, you can do all this, on your own before sending it out. And, when we see people saving time, people report saving time anywhere from 25 to 45 minutes when using Grammarly. This is another way they can do that, right? Which is you're getting all of this work done with Grammarly as part of the writing and the task that you have to do. All right. And so that wraps up my 8 hour day, I think, in maybe 10 minutes here. So with that, Julia, pass it back to you.
This is great, Chia. I don't know why, but people submitted a lot of technical questions. I'll try to address a few here. They're curious to know, do you have your own LLM?
Yeah, so Grammarly uses a multi-LLM model. So yes, we have Grammarly has a proprietary LLM. We also use OpenAI for some of the content creation that you've seen here.
Next one is, can Grammarly adapt to individual writing styles over time? I guess we addressed this one with the brand book and the extension of your marketing team. That was great. Then we have, how does Grammarly ensure user data privacy and security?
Yeah, great question. That's probably one of our number one question from a security team. Just we can get into more details, but the broad stroke responses, for Grammarly Enterprise customers, Grammarly does not use your user text like this blog post as an example to train or to improve our services. And then we've got a number of different security controls that really allow you to fine tune where people can use Grammarly and how they can use Grammarly.
Next one, how does Grammarly balances AI suggestions with human creativity?
Yeah, great question. So we've got a host of teams that are working on both the inputs that somebody might be putting in, as well as the outputs to ensure that what you're putting in comes out in a certain manner. We have a number of ways to tune the output that you're getting. So you may have noticed in a couple of the preset prompts, you can set up what we call brand tones. So brand tones are how you want your organization to sound. And so maybe you're more formal organization, so your generated content needs to sound more formal. You can certainly do that. Or you're maybe a more casual organization. And so there's different ways that you can configure Grammarly to generate the output that makes most sense for your organization.
And last question, people want to know what's next for Grammarly AI.
Yeah, so there's a lot of work being done. And so you may have heard, agentic, right? I think you've already seen, and if you're users of Grammarly already, you already see the ability for Grammarly to follow you everywhere, or a lot of places where you're writing. With what we're coming up with next, you're going to start to see Grammarly being able to follow you in other places that you may not have expected. An example might be if you're just reading a blog post, right? Or an article. Grammarly will be available to you, and you might be able to do something like, hey, give me a summary of this article, or maybe help me create a LinkedIn post from this article. So there's a number of different areas just around giving you the ability to leverage Grammarly in more places than you're used to.
This was great, Gia. I don't know. I suppose Grammarly provides some freemium model, or just tell me.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of free users out there. So if you haven't, downloaded and used Grammarly, there's certainly a free version that you can go ahead and download. A lot of the things that I've been highlighting are part of our Grammarly business. And so if you're interested in that, certainly, get on our website, grammarly.com, and we'll be happy to get on a call with you.